Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Silly Goose Sports Talk. I am Big T.
And I'm Skippy. Before we get into today's episode, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because it helps us bring you the latest sports news. Now, we have quite a lot this week,
Yes, sir, we do.
as March Madness is coming up soon.
Yes, sir. And first off, it was 2 years ago to this week that the Capitals lost a shootout game in Buffalo and looked to recover in a home game versus the Red Wings. A game that was never played as the sports world froze before our eyes. And
Also, it's the 2-year birthday of good old COVID, so fun.
we don't wish it a happy birthday. We want this sucker gone.
Happy birthday to you. And get a little cake.
What's next? What are we gonna do next? Are we gonna give the stomach flu? We're gonna sing Merry Christmas songs to the stomach flu?
Yeah. So I went over to some friends and I got a drive with a gator. So that was interesting.
Ooh, nice.
My hair got ruined, but because there's no windshield. So when you're going like 25 miles an hour, you have to get used to the wind going in your eyes.
Yeah, that's what shades are for.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah. Anywho,
Oh.
NHL wise, we have the Penguins who fell to first place after the Panthers for free. So ouch. They bounced back versus the Golden Knights and beat them 5-2. They held on to beat the first place Hurricanes 40-42. This win moves them to second place in the division, so I'll take it.
Nice. All right, we got a bunch of stuff in DC right now. So in a showdown versus the Oilers, the Caps fall in overtime. However, it was a miracle that they made it to overtime as TJ Oshie had a miracle goal with 1.8 seconds left in regulation. Also, Nick Backstrom got his 1,000th career point, so let's go. Caps looked to recover versus Vancouver, and recover they did as they hung on for a 4-3 overtime win with a Kuznetsov hat trick. As of Monday night, the Caps are 5 points back of the Rangers for third in the division. All these overtime losses are biting. So it's crunch time in DC. We have a game versus the Islanders tonight, and then Blue Jackets Thursday night, Hurricanes Friday night, and then a showdown versus the Stars on Sunday night. You got to go 3-1 here if you want any chance of catching the Rangers. And we do not want to have to settle for a wild card. That those are the Panthers and Hurricanes are really good, and you do not want to have to face those guys in the playoffs. Yeah. So yeah, that's all we got for Washington right now.
Yeah. Other NHL news, we have trade deadlines is this upcoming next Monday. Will either team, the Caps or the Penguins, make any trades to improve their team? Now, the Penguins' secondary lines need of a lot of extra scoring as the top two lines are carrying the Lions' share work. Rumors are that the Capitals are interested in taking the two-time Stanley Cup winner goalie Marc-Andre Fleury. So,
I mean, okay, here's the thing about that. We already have Samsonov and Vanacek. Samsonov was fun for a while, but he's not what he looked to be early on. Vitek Vanacek is looking good, though. I think Vitek could be the long-term option, but if we bring Fleury in, then you have to have Fleury be teaching Vanacek his old man tricks.
yeah.
And we think it would not be a long-term option, but I think it would be a good thing for the next year or two. Well, because the Cap, they have a new youth movement coming through. You got McMichael, you got all those guys, LaPierre, Joe Snively, all these guys that are coming through. But the thing with the Caps are they might not even need to do much in the trade deadline because they've seen worse days. It's been this past 2 or 3 weeks have been really good with the Caps. They've had a bunch of good wins, not many losses, beating some of the best teams in hockey. So looks like the Caps are getting back on their feet, but we don't know. We'll see what happens tonight.
Mm,
That's all for NHL right
That's
now.
all. NHL. Now, NFL, we have actually a surprising lot of stuff. So you can kick it off with watching the Commanders.
All right. So let's throw the party. Washington has a quarterback. Carson Wentz is a commander. Washington traded a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a conditional second-round pick in 2023 for the 2017 MVP candidate. Now, Carson Wentz looked really, really, really bad in 2020. But last year, I had him on my fantasy team. He gave me a lot of points. And if he doesn't just hurl it downfield and say, screw it, Terry McLaurin's down there
Wait,
somewhere.
who did he play for?
He was with the Colts last year.
Ooh. Oh, Colts weren't that good.
Oh, no, they were decent. They just choked at the end.
Colts are never very good. They're just there.
I mean, they won a Super Bowl 10 years ago with Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Well, Peyton Manning was a beast.
Yeah. I love Peyton Manning. But, yeah, we got Carson Wentz now. I, to be honest, was really upset about this at first. But, well, we'll see what happens. He just needs to not hurl it downfield because
Better than Heineke.
because the defense is. I mean, Heineke, it was fun, but that dream is over. Unless Wentz gets hurt, I think Heineke would be a good second option. But like Heineke
Backup
can
quarterback.
keep the team. Yeah, he's a backup. Heineke can keep the team going for a week or two. He did that in 2020. He did that and kept us competitive in that playoff game versus Tampa Bay. Even though we didn't win it, he kept us competitive. Something that I don't think any of the quarterbacks in the room could have done in that game. But Heineke is not a starting quarterback. He's a very good backup. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
Low
We have
end
a few
starter.
other things.
Yeah, we have Washington released Landon Collins because there was cap space, I think. And then guard Brandon Sheriff, a first-team All-Pro in 2020, agreed to move from Washington to Jacksonville, which is not very good because Washington is the offensive line is not very good. Also, Tim Settle left. I think he also went to Jacksonville, or he went somewhere. And most important thing for the offense is the wide receiver room right now, because with Carson Wentz, you're going to have some good receivers to go after the balls that he's throwing. As right now, it looks like it's going to be Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, DeAndre Carter, Adam Humphries, and De'Ami Brown. But the draft class is looking really good. Top wide receivers in the draft include Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, Drake London from USC, Jamison Williams from Alabama, Chris Olave from Ohio State, Treylon Burks from Arkansas, and Jahan Dotson from Penn State. I really,
Did you
really,
just say Ohio State?
No, Ohio State.
I heard Ohio, but okay.
Okay, so Drake London from USC. That's a guy that I really, really want. We can even trade back and still be able to get him. This guy is tall. This guy can catch a lot of jump balls, which is a lot of things that Wentz should be throwing. So it's a good fit. We could move back and we can trade and get a second round pick. So we can essentially not lose any draft picks from the Wentz trade. Essentially, we can get those picks back. But I don't know. We'll see.
Now,
Another one.
Steelers, it looks like we also have a QB. Mitch Trubisky will be the Steelers quarterback for starter for the next seasons. Now, Trubisky signed for a 2-year deal with the Steelers. He was a very good starter for the Bears after being the second pick and was in the overall 2017 draft. A 4-year starter for the Bears, and Trubisky posted a 29-21 record as a starter, earning a Pro Bowl nod in 2018 And he led Chicago to an 11-free record in games he started. He has a career completion percentage of 64.1%. He has a winning record of each of his free seasons, going 25-13. And he also has a career 64 touchdowns and 38 interceptions. It's a high interception rate, but well, he might not be going on to be the next franchise QB. This is a clear upgrade over Mason Rudolph. So
Yeah.
he was,
But
yeah.
here's the thing about that is, yeah, those stats look nice, but when are those picks happening? If those picks are happening with 2 minutes left in the game, when you're
I don't
down
know.
by
We'll see how he does next season. We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, exactly. But
Now,
I think
also, Steelers reassigned Chuck's Okafor. Okafor.
it looks that right.
Okafor. On Monday to just a 3-year deal in 2001. Now, Okafor was credited with allowing just 1 sack, which is weird, and was one of the lone bright stars on the O-line because
Nah.
the offensive line was a lonely place. Now, they
As
also signed a former Cardinals and Vikings guard center Mason Cole on a 3-year deal, so nice. Adding a veteran interior lineman to a mix of badly needed line upgrade. So that's what we have there. Now we have a lot of other NHL news. Free agency actually starts this week, so players would be signed fast and furious by their current teams. You can take that one.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady's back.
He apparently didn't want to spend too much time with his family as he originally thought, so back for no reason whatsoever. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I think
I'm a somewhat fan of Tom Brady, but the guy
he was
what?
jealous of the spotlight because
The
Russell
spotlight came off of
Wilson.
him.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, and then Aaron Rodgers getting his big deal, and Deshaun Watson being cleared of his allegations. And Tom Brady was like, "Well, where's my attention?" So he's
No
like, "All
one's
right,
talking
let's."
about me anymore.
Yeah, so he came back and he's like, "All right, let's unquit."
Well, now everybody else is talking about him, so I guess that worked.
Yeah.
We're it's so
Teddy
dumb.
Bridgewater is off to a new team in another backup role. Bridgewater is signing a 1-year deal with Miami. He will play as understudy to Tua Tagovailoa. Bridgewater's another one of those guys that's going all over the place.
Yeah. We also have the Arizona Cardinals and running back James Conner have agreed to a 3-year deal, $21 million extension. So good gosh.
I wanted Washington to get
Yeah.
in baseball.
Yeah, that's all. That's just about all we have for NFL. Now baseball.
We have some local stuff. Tell us the news about the Fred Nat.
All right, Fred Nats $2 Tuesdays are back. They were gone for a little bit off season, but they decided to bring them back. So on Tuesday, you can buy tickets for $2. You can also buy a walkie taco and churros, each only for $2. This is a very popular summer outing, and hopefully you guys can attend. It's very fun.
Yeah.
And support your local team if you live in the Fredericksburg area. I should get paid for this ad.
Yeah.
Where's my money for that?
Hey, we should do some Tuesdays for the show. We could do Tuesday.
Yeah. Skip Sports Tuesday. Go to Fredats games. Enough for me.
All right. For the big nationals, we have 2 key members of the World Series championship winning club are set to rejoin the team as Washington has agreed to deals with left-hander Sean Doolittle and right-hander Anibal Sanchez. So that's awesome to see Sanchez Doolittle back in the clubhouse. Free agent designated hitter Nelson Cruz has agreed to a 1-year, $12 million deal in Washington. This guy is 41 years old. Looks like he's Zimmerman's replacement as a bat off the bench. So, yeah, there it goes. I still miss Zimmerman. I think he should have announced his retirement early so that he would have his goodbye tour.
Yeah.
The Nats fans would have given him more. He deserved more.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Pirates. The Pirates made their first post lockdown transaction Sunday, claiming left-hander Aaron Fletcher off waivers from the Mariners.
All right, we got a bit of Atlanta news here. The Braves trade for Matt Olson, and it looks like Freddie Freeman is gonna leave. He got his ring. Time to go. I don't think it's exactly like that. I think he loves the Atlanta area, but I think he's been there for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
And
Now the Orioles, I believe that they signed
Yeah.
catcher Robinson Chirinos. It was something like that.
yeah.
Churio. Churro. All right. We do have some other MLB news. I'm stretching. You gonna take that one?
All right, baseball will start. They finally agreed. Opening day is Thursday, April 7th. Also, Josh Donaldson is headed to New York. The guy the Nats should have picked up in 2020 instead of giving Strasburg a bunch of dead money to be just in rehab for the past 2 years. So, yeah.
That was
Cool.
NBA. I can take this one because it's like 2 words. Wizards lose to the Clips and the Blazers because they stink in there.
Yeah, and then they lost again last night, and I was too tired to put it on the script.
All right, now what everyone cares about now, NCAA basketball. Now we're gonna go through all these, and then we're gonna pick. Then we're gonna do a few things with our, bracket.
All right, you want to take UVA?
Of course. Now UVA, they beat Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville, but lost to the Tar Heels in the ACC tournament. Now, they did not make the NIT tournament and play Mississippi State in their first round on the Wednesday night. So, oof.
All right, Virginia Tech, the Hokies, they get a last-second miracle, a Maddox miracle versus Clemson, and then they get the win versus Notre Dame. In the ACC semifinals, the Hokies take out UNC. In the ACC championship, the Hokies spoil Duke and Coach K's party, winning the conference in an 82-67 with a dominating performance by Hunter Couture with 31 points. Tech did get the 11th seed in the Big Dance, and they will play against Texas on a Friday afternoon. So let's go.
Yeah, you guys got lucky there. I had you guys winning the first one, then losing.
We'll see.
Now, Penn State, the Lions beat Minnesota and Ohio State before losing to Purdue, so they did even make it very close.
Georgetown, they lost to Seton Hall. The season finally comes to a merciful end. R.I.P. Georgetown.
Yes. VCU, they follow Richmond in the conference tournament, and they end up in the NIT to face Princeton tonight.
Man, that one hurt for VCU. I thought that they were going to win their conference. That really hurt.
Yeah.
George Mason, they fall to Fordham in the A10 tournament. I don't know if they made it to the NIT or not. Maryland loses to Michigan State. So
Richmond makes a run and won their conference, of course, and the conference tournament. And they make it to the Big Dance. They are number 12, and they are going to face Iowa in the first round. Now, towards Thursday. So we don't have to go through every single one. Who's your Final Four, and who do you have winning?
All right, first off, before I do that, I'm going to put up my big upsets here. Right here at first, I do have Virginia Tech beating Texas. And then I have San Francisco beating Murray State. So, yeah. This is going to be really, really, really controversial. But my Final Four, I have Gonzaga, Kentucky, Houston, and USC.
Ooh.
Arizona, Houston in the Sweet 16. Then Kansas, I have them losing to USC in the Elite Eight. And then Baylor and Kentucky battle in the Elite Eight, which I think is going to be an amazing game.
Wow. Well, I don't have any massive upsets, I would say. I do have Virginia Tech beating Texas, fighting against Purdue, winning that, and then losing to Murray. So
I have
be
them
curious you
losing
guys
to
will.
Kentucky.
Well, my final four are Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova,
Yeah, Villanova.
and Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin and Baylor, when there's 2 games, is my prediction. And I think Wisconsin's going to come out on top.
Ooh, that's a hot take right there.
That is a hot take. I think it's going to happen, but we'll see. I've
I'm
never had
taking
very
this.
good drafts, but we'll see.
I'm taking the safe route. I see Houston beating. I mean, I see USC beating Houston, and then I see Gonzaga beating Kentucky. And as much as I want to say that USC will win the national championship, I have Gonzaga winning it.
Wow. Interesting pick, but okay. Yeah,
And
so that's your prediction.
yes, sir. Do you
Huh.
have any other notables in the column?
Not particularly. Not
I do have
particularly.
Colorado State going on a run. They beat Michigan, and then I have them beating Tennessee, and then beating Villanova, and then losing to Houston.
Yeah. I feel it'll be a pretty good March Madness, but we'll see.
Yeah, at least Virginia will not be there to lose to a 16 seed this year.
Yeah. Now, after all that, also the producers will be taking Gonzaga to beat Villanova, and Felice and Purdue, and Iowa rounding out the Final Four. So just thought I'd let you guys know that.
Yeah.
Now, time for the greatest of all time. We have dad jokes, baby. Timmy, I
Yes.
made a playlist for hiking. It has music from the Peanuts, the Cranberries, and M&M. I call my trail mix.
I like
Yeah, it's
that.
Cranberries and M&M. That's very, that's funny.
I like that.
I have a twin brother. We used to be roommates. I invented a new word. Plagiarism.
I like that. I really like that.
I just read a great book on the history of glue. I couldn't put it down. I knew a guy who was collecting candy canes. They were all in mint condition.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
The candy
Those
cane
are
one and the plagiarism one I really like.
I like the trail mix also.
Yeah, that one was funny.
All right. That's all we have for that. Now let's run right into the race cause with Big T's Racing Minutes.
Yes, sir. You have Noah Gragson winning the Xfinity race, so congrats to him. And then for the Cup race, what everyone cares about, Ryan Blaney gets the pole and leads a lot of laps. William Byron wins stage 1 as Blaney wins stage 2. Chase Elliott and Chase Briscoe battled throughout the final stage and it looked to be a Chase versus Chase duel to the checkered flag. That is until Eric Jones wrecked. Elliott fell back in pit stops, and Briscoe held off charges from Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and Kevin Harvick until Elliott spun. So, didn't change anything as Briscoe ran off for his first career win. So, congrats to Chase Briscoe. That guy's been through so much, and it's amazing to finally see him get his first career win.
Nice.
Honestly, I was rooting for Reddick at the end, but it's really
You're rooting
awesome.
for your own guy.
Oh no! This is other Chase Briscoe. So yeah, I wanted to see Reddick win it at the end because Elliott had wrecked, and I want to see Reddick get his first career win too. But it is amazing to see Briscoe get that first win. I'd say that his celebrations, I really like that. How he's always before doing his interviews, he prays right next to the car. He does. He prayed with his pit crew after his Indy win back in 2020. I really like that. So yeah, it's amazing. We'll see the field at Atlanta at the newly reconfigured Atlanta Speedway, which is a must-see event this coming Sunday. So
Nice.
with that. Formula One. Apparently, Lewis Hamilton is pulling a Washington football team and changing his name. That's wackadoo. I don't
His
think
new
so.
name is going to be Formula One driver. That's going to be his new
Also,
fucking name.
Red Bull Racing is looking really good in the testing, so let's go. IndyCar heads off to Texas this weekend. So let's go.
Nice.
Alex Palou is second in the standings. He's the reigning champion. Scott McLaughlin, after winning the previous race, is the points leader. In the SRX, you have Dave and Ryan Blaney will have a father and son showdown in the Superstar Racing Experience.
Indeed.
So that's gonna be really
All right. Now we have Potato of the Week. Now, Potato of the Week, we're putting Duke for not winning the conference.
yeah.
What are you doing, dude? Well, Potato of the Week, we're having Toronto Maple Leafs forward Austin Matthews has been suspended for 2 games without pay, and for cross-checking Buffalo Sabres defenseman Amos Dahl.
Rasmus Dahlin.
I would not have guessed that. Jag off the week. We're putting Tom Brady. You can't just unretire after less than 2 months and get this award. Come on, man. What the heck?
Yeah.
Again, don't get me wrong. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I don't support this. What the heck?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? And Jag number 2, actually. Any company that pulls sponsorship from Russia, from Russian players, just because they're from Russia. Now,
yeah,
there's a difference. Listen, there's a difference from being from Russia and supporting Russia.
Exactly, dude. These guys
if they outwardly say, like, if Alex Ovechkin comes out and says, "Yes, I support Putin in what he's doing," then that's reasonable.
Yeah,
yes, you can pull ads from that.
But the difference from what most of these hockey players that these guys are doing, they're saying, oh, they do not like the war. They do not want the stuff going on. And the companies are still pulling out. And that is, I really do not like that.
Yeah, it's a coin flip because you don't want that part of the brand if they outwardly do come out as supporting Putin.
They're not supporting the war. They're the public. They're publicly denouncing the war, and it's a mess.
Yeah, it's definitely just it's a risky for both sides here.
Yeah,
not a great time. Now, sweep day we have Nick Bassam for getting his 1,000th career NFL point. So wow.
Yes, sir.
It's quite a lot. Sweep potato number 2, we actually have a lot this week. LeBron James is the only player in NBA history to reach his 10,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. When will he get his 10,000th assist this week? Who knows?
We'll say LeBron James is not the GOAT. That will always be a showdown between Michael Jordan and Kobe. So, yeah. That's my
Silly Goose week. We have Greg Popovich. Became the NBA's all-time wins leader Friday after San Antonio's 104-102 comeback victory after Utah Jazz. Now this was Popovich's 1,336th win as a coach.
Nice.
That's all we have for Tier League. Now let's round this podcast off with Big T's music notes.
Yes, and a lot of notes we have this week. So I will predict this. Wishful Drinking by Ingrid Andress and Sam Hunt is primed to be a hit this summer. It's at number 39 this week, and I think it's going to be making its moves up the chart over this summer. Taylor Swift and Chris Stapleton are back on the chart with I Bet You Think About Me. It's at number 36. Doing This by Luke Combs continues its charge to the top as it is up at number 13 this week. Now, there's a group of songs that have not gotten, they've been really close to each other in the charts, and they've been slowly getting up there and overtaking other songs. These are Never Say Never by Cole Swindell and Lady Wilson, Wild Hearts by Keith Urban, Slow Down Summer by Thomas Rhett, and Give Heaven Some Hell by Hardy. all of these songs continue their methodical rise to the top. So these will be up number ones. Well, it'll be a Duke and battle for number one in the next month or so, but we'll see what happens. At number 5, okay, hold on. Number 5, we have 23 by Sam Hunt. Number 4 on the charts, we have Sand in My Boots by Morgan Wallen. Number 3, Till You Can't by Cody Johnson. Now, there's a lot of significance in here. Props to Cody Johnson for breaking through the barrier and bringing traditional red dirt country back to the mainstream country radio, which, if for those of you who don't know, there was a big controversy where they did not let one of his songs go to radio because they said, oh, it's too rodeo for radio. Now, it's awesome that Cody Johnson is back on the radio. Number 2, To Be Loved by You by Parker McCollum. And number 1, Half of My Hometown by Kenny Chesney and Kelsey Ballerini. So that is
that
awesome.
song's okay.
Yeah. Notables. The biggest drop this past week was One Mississippi by Kane Brown, which dropped from number 1 all the way down to number 8. So, oof. Biggest rise this week was a tie between 7500 OBO by Tim McGraw and Till You Can't by Cody Johnson, which each rose up 4 spots. So
Nice.
And that's all we got for the country music scene this week.
And that is actually all we have for the podcast this week. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in every week. And hopefully we'll reach 100 subscribers before our 1-year anniversary. That's coming up soonish.
Also, you will be able to comment again because apparently we were stuck on the YouTube Kids platform for the past few months, and that might have
No,
been
we're
a
not on
contributing
YouTube Kids. If
factor
don't
towards
try.
Hank.
Yeah, I actually kept turning off comments. Listen. There's a thing. I tried turning it on every week, but it automatically turns off. Don't ask me why.
If it says made for it, then you ask, is this content meant for kids? Then you just click no. Because,
No, it's not really, because no kid's gonna give a crap about this.
Yeah, no 5-year-old is gonna sit through a half an hour of you mispronouncing stuff and me ranting about useless stuff.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you.
We're lucky
so
we
much
have anybody
listening.
listening to this anymore.
Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we will see you all next week. Keep on honking.